Hello there, friends. Welcome to Coffee with Monica. I tell you what, we've got hidden treasures all around our community of Pine Bluff, and we have discovered a diamond, another diamond. And I don't want you to go away because you really got to hear what this diamond is up to. So we're going to see you right back here on Coffee with Monica. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Welcome back to the show. Now, today's show, we have a very special lady here with us. And when I say lady, she is a lady. So we have today Miss Sherry Livingston.
Hi.
And Sherry, I want you to tell our viewers who you are. Of course, you're Sherry. What it is you do.
Well, my name is Sherry Livingston, and I am the editor and publisher of Lady Magazine Online. It is an online Christian magazine for the African American woman.
Well, you know, you probably don't need any introductions because Lady Magazine is buzzing all over the place. Lady, 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 lady. And I'm sure some people are reading your magazine and they've never seen you before.
Right.
So I thought it was just appropriate to uncover that diamond so people can actually get a chance to see and hear and know the person behind Lady Magazine.
Right.
And you know what's so interesting? Your magazine did not start out with Lady Magazine.
Right.
There was a series of things that you've experienced in your life leading up to this. And so we want to talk about that because, you know, as I always say, this show is about all things purpose.
Right.
And we want people to understand that they have something good on the inside of them. And even though things happen, we can still barrel through and achieve our purpose.
Right. That's so
So
true.
tell us, Sherry, how did you know that you wanted to be an editor and writer and publisher? How did you know that you wanted to do that?
Actually, it's kind of strange how it all came to fruition. I was actually, this might have been, I want to say in 2010, and I was going through this season, you know, really trying to find my purpose. I was in prayer constantly. I remember one particular night, I was, you know, laying in the bed and I just got out of prayer and I'm just like laying there and I'm like, God, what is it that you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And that, at that moment, it was like this clear audible voice I heard, magazine. And honestly, at the time, I mean, a magazine was the last thing on my mind, you know, like I never put myself in a position of, you know, like, okay, I want to do a magazine and I want to, you know, have to talk to people all the time and, you know, that kind of thing. I've never really saw myself doing that, but it wasn't strange because actually when I was in about the 7th or 8th grade, a friend of mine and we, you know, kind of partnered up together. We, you know, had some fascination with like 17 magazine and, you know, teen magazines. And so we started a magazine together in the 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we had this little fun idea, like, yeah, let's get some money together. And, you know, my dad, he was so awesome. He gave us this little quick copy card. And so we had our own little account. We made our, you know, editorials and quizzes, made several copies, got us some staplers. And, you know, we sold them at school. You know, we decided we were going to highlight, you know, a couple of students here and there. We sold them at school for like $2 and we donated all the money to like St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it was called The Flow. That was the beginning of it. You know, but I had no idea that, you know, God was preparing me even at that early age to do what I'm doing now. And maybe about a couple of years ago, I was going to school here at UPB and I started majoring in art education. And so it was then when I started doing a lot of studio art, graphic design work, and I mean, it's just all these things started working together for this.
But you know what I find interesting is before you got to Lady Magazine, God was already preparing you.
Right.
You had no idea. He was preparing you. And you said something that just kind of struck a chord with me. You said that you were laying in bed one night and you were asking, what is it that you want me to do? What is it that you want me to do? And I find that a lot of people find themselves, and I call it your whoa moment.
Right.
The aha moment, you know, because you find yourself in a place of, okay, well, I've tried this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. What is it that you want me to do? And I find a lot of people that I talk to on the show and in the community, they find themselves in that very same place. What is it that you want me to do?
Right.
And when you finally get the answer, it's like, huh? Really? So before you got your aha moment, your wow moment, what is it that you were doing?
Actually, I was working in banking.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. I was preparing to be an art education teacher, and I was working in banking.
Wow.
You know, and it was one of those things where, you know, you have to make a living, you know what I mean? And so, and a lot of times you're always trying to think of like the thing that you should do in your life that's going to secure you. Being a teacher, I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
Anybody, you know, who is a teacher is pretty much secured. And like you say, when you're talking about purpose, you really just never know what direction God will take you.
Right.
And there's always that fear because you're always worried if your purpose, obviously God knows better than we do.
Right.
If your purpose, whether it's a hobby or something that's, you know, not conventional, will, you know, give you security.
Yeah.
And for the most part, you know, I just knew that I was going to be a teacher.
Wow. But you know what? You're still a teacher. Because you're
that's
teaching
true.
through your magazine.
That makes a lot of sense.
See there? See there? See, we have these moments on the show all the time. It's like, oh, there it is. But you were actually being trained and prepared for it.
Right.
For now. So you're teaching people through the magazine about how to be inspired, how to do the, and see, I don't want to go too far into that because we're going to talk about more of the magazine when we come back after break. So I want you to start thinking about that. So
Okay.
when we come back from break, we're going to talk about how you've transitioned from the bank lady into the aha moment, and we've got a message. Okay, so we're going to do that. All right, don't go away. We're going to talk about more of this magazine and more of our aha moment, and I'm sure it's going to inspire you. So don't go away. We'll be right back here on Coffee with Monica.
Right now, famine, war, and drought are killing a child every 6 minutes in the Horn of Africa. They can't share their story, but you can. Even the smallest and simplest investments can save lives. But do more than donate. Forward the facts to everyone you know. Forward from our site. Forward onto your family, friends, and social network. We are the relief.
Welcome back to the show. So we know the end result. We have this beautiful magazine that's out there.
Right.
You had your aha moment. You had that moment of, I know what it is I'm supposed to do. Now, I found in my life, in other people's lives, once we get a clear understanding as to what we're going to do, you start to think, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Right.
And it's going to be a great success tomorrow. No, it's going to be a great success today.
Today.
Yeah. And so we launch out and we start going, and then all of a sudden it's like, did I miss it? Did you ever experience that?
Oh, I did, absolutely. Actually, before Lady, I was publishing A Gathering of Eagles. And a lot of people around Pine Bluff know about A Gathering of
Yeah.
Eagles. It was actually a print magazine, so people had easy access to it. It was free, and it was really for the church community. There was
Yeah.
no, specific, category of people. And it was a lot of fun, like in the beginning, as far as, doing a publication, everything wasn't, just black and white. There was a lot of, technicalities that go into it, design, then, drafting together, stories and that kind of thing. And for the most part, I want to say that there was definitely a good vision behind it. I was trained, I'll say that much. I definitely spent a lot of hours working on that publication. I mean, I think I was up 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning most nights because I pretty much did everything on my own. And it, when from talking to different people about cover stories and doing ad sales and making sure that the grammar was correct and there was a lot of work that went into that one. But
what happened?
halfway through, Okay, I think I want to say I got about a good 4 issues printed, because
Yeah,
that was
you were
actually
on a roll.
right. That was like, I want to say, was it bi-monthly? It might have been bi-monthly.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Every other month.
Right, every other month, bi-monthly. And so, it was really awesome, you know, but halfway through, I felt more pressure than anything. I felt like I constantly had to, you know, have the money to pay for this publication. There was constant resistance, you know, coming from, you know, even different people when it comes to ad sales. Nobody wanted to pay for anything.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got a little bit weary about that publication. And all I could think, you know, as God is, you told me to start a magazine, and now there's so much stress, and I felt pressure to get these publications out. But like I say, halfway through, I want to say probably maybe around in May of 2011, I had this idea, like, you know, why not do something that I know I understand more.
Right.
Then I won't have to worry so much about depending on other people, waiting for editorials and stories and that kind of thing. But I know that personally, I have like this really strong conviction about positive self-perception with the Black woman, and just being, because there's a strength in being a woman. I don't think that a lot of women really even get. And so as, you know, time went by, I'm constantly having these ideas like, you know, this would be such a really good idea to actually start, you know, doing a publication and just you know, pushing awesome stories about women, you know, empowering other women. And I came, you know, this idea of Lady kind of fell into my head. And it was strange, because as I was, you know, waiting, you know, for the, you know, here, I was sitting outside, and I looked into this little notebook, and I saw this letter that I wrote to God. And I said, God, you know, I would love to start a publication called Lady, but you have to tell me how to do it.
Wow.
I was just reading that.
Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah, that's amazing.
But you know, I love what you're saying, because we don't all the time understand exactly how all the pieces are going to fit.
Right.
And when we're pursuing our purpose, we have to keep in mind that we're going to go through different things.
Right.
Because the trials that we experience, it's basically building us up and preparing us for that next level.
Right.
And what happens, and it's happened to me, I started out, and something would happen, well, it's not for me, and I'll quit. And I wouldn't see it all the way through. But if it's for me, the opportunity comes back around, you pick yourself up and you go. And that's what I'm hearing with you. You were working on this magazine, Eagles. You were doing what you were supposed to do. You were studying, you were learning, you were preparing yourself. But then it wasn't the right place.
Right.
But with all the preparation that you gained over that time, it ended up being placed into this.
Right.
And that's what we want to encourage people to do. Don't quit.
Don't quit. I'm not a quitter.
No, you're
I
not.
get discouraged sometimes because I'm constantly doing things.
Yeah.
And it may not be, like you say, the time.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
Yes.
You know, and I'm kind of a go-getter kind of person. You know, I get an idea and I'm just like, you know, let's start tomorrow. You know, I write me an idea out and I'm just like, you know, okay, God, I got about $50 in my account. How can I get this done?
Yeah.
And so, but I'm not a quitter. You know, I really feel like, you know, when God puts something in you, it's undeniable. You cannot fight what's in you. And that's amazing about, you know, if you look at, you know, other celebrities and, you know, people who are, you know, kind of in the limelight, they always go back to their little childhood pictures and their videos.
Yeah.
And the very thing that they are successful in is the very thing they were doing when they were 2 and 3 years old.
You know what? Time out. I am so glad that you said that, because I say that all of the time. So there's something to it.
Right.
There's something to it. Go back to, because when you're a child, you are being who you are.
Right.
And when you're a child, you're free to allow your imagination to flow, and what's in you, it comes out. You know what? I'm so glad that you co-signed that with me.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a few seconds, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at this wonderful magazine.
Okay.
I'm so excited to talk about the magazine. All right, so stay right there. Don't forget about that.
Okay.
So don't go away. We're going to come right back with Sherry Livingston and Lady Magazine. We'll see you right back in just a moment.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to the show. We're here with the editor and publisher of Lady Magazine, and I tell you, I'm inspired by this young lady. We have a lot that we can learn from her. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a postcard, and when I look at this, I see excellence.
Oh, thank you.
I see excellence. I don't see anything thrown together haphazardly. I see something that you can actually pick up off of a magazine rack.
That's good.
A major magazine rack.
That's the goal.
This is amazing, and you can tell just by looking at this that all that time that you spent researching and up late at night, look what it's manifested into. You can put this on a book stand in New York, and people will say, hey, this is a major publication. I mean, the excellence here, the way that you have your ads laid out. I am impressed with you, young lady.
Thank you.
Very impressed with you.
It.
And I am honored to be sitting here with you because this is like a milestone, if you will. And you're starting out here, and where you're going is just immeasurable. And I am super thrilled and humbled to be sitting here with you. So I don't want you to forget the Coffee with Monica crew when you're soaring on your Lear jets and all that kind of
and
stuff.
I'm a millionaire.
And
Not
you're a
I'm
millionaire
joking.
and all that. No, yeah, so you got to call it. But let's talk about Lady Magazine.
Okay.
What is Lady Magazine? What is it?
Okay, Lady, she debuted in July, and on the website and even on this push card, I actually have the definition of lady.
Yes,
so people
you
will
have.
know what a lady is. And lady is a well-mannered and considerate woman with high standard of proper behavior. And I mean, that says a lot, especially when, you know, in our day, the media just portrays this black woman to be bitter, you know, and vindictive. And that's not what a woman of God is.
Right.
You know, you can be saved, you can be beautiful, you can be a diva, but you don't have to be vindictive.
Absolutely.
You don't have to feed into what the media sells you. Also a woman of superior social position, especially of noble birth. You know, and so I mean, I think that kind of sums up the idea, you know, that once you become born again, once you're, you know, a God-fearing, virtuous woman, you know, you have been born into a royalty, a priesthood, and that's one of the things I always put forward is redeeming the legacy. The woman, you know, we come from a lineage of awesome women, you know, from Ruth to Esther, you know, and it's just like, you know, being able to tap into who we really are, not just, you know, from your own family, but who God says you are. And that's what Lady, you know, that's what the purpose of Lady is to develop a positive self-perception for the African-American woman.
And you know what, I'm looking at, this is awesome, Sherry. I'm looking at your cover stories here. One of them, I'm going to put it out there. I mean, they can go on the website and read it. But one of them is One Girl's Journey, Victory Over HPV.
Yes.
And see, these are real issues that
These are real issues,
with.
real
So
issues.
it's not some kind of, ooh, that kind of thing. It's real things that women deal with.
Right.
And then you have here, now listen to this one. It says, blast body fat fast. I need to read this. Personal trainer, Stacia Ward, has the scoop. So now you're dealing with the mind, the body, the soul, every aspect of the lady. 3 in 1. And this is absolutely amazing. Now, as I look at this, blast body fat fast, I talked to you briefly, and you were talking about you had experienced some weight loss. Can we talk about that? Because you look great, honey.
I've lost 35 pounds.
Woo,
Okay.
Good job.
I did a lot of hard work. It was not easy. But I mean, I've always been a very small person. Whenever I was in high school, I graduated, I weighed a whopping 97 pounds when I graduated high school. But it wasn't until, you know, I had my son 4 years ago, and then I went through, you know, most people who know me know I've been through a divorce. Matter of fact, I've been through 2. And so the stress, you know, involved in the divorce or whatever, I mean, I was probably went through a little bit of a depression,
Yeah.
and so my eating habits were very poor. I wasn't physically active, and I gained a lot of weight. You know, I was up to about 157. That was my highest weight.
Wow.
And I, you know, got very serious, changed my eating habits. I love Reese's. I had to stop eating Reese's. I put myself on a Reese fast.
Yeah.
So I stopped eating Reese's, and I did a lot of working out. I mean, I made it a priority. And, you know, they say, you know, whatever is important for you, you'll make a priority. You know, whether you're a mom or you have a full-time job or whatever. Even if you can, you know, give yourself 15 minutes a day to start with. 15 minutes is a lot when you're busy, but it's not a lot when you see results if you're consistent.
Oh boy, here we go with the fitness talk. No, you're telling the truth. You're absolutely right. But you look wonderful.
Thank you.
And I think that's a testimony in itself, because you're not just publishing a magazine just to have words on the page. You're actually living.
I live it.
Yeah, the things that you are wanting women to take hold of.
Right.
And that says a lot. That says a lot.
Right, and there are things that help. You know, it's just a matter of just doing simple things. You know, if you start somewhere, God will meet you. You know, you don't have to be out there doing it by yourself. God will meet you.
Absolutely.
He will.
Well, what I want you to do, I want people to go out and read this dynamic magazine of yours. So could you tell our viewers how they can find you online to read your magazine?
Okay, the website is www.ladymagazinetoday.org. Simple as that. Oh, and Facebook. Go on Facebook, like the Facebook page.
Yes, like the Facebook page. And so could you, we like to do this too on the show, could you share your words to live by briefly before we have to go?
Well, ultimately, I would say just live fearless. You know, if you don't just step out and do something, then you'll be stagnant forever. You know, and God did not call us to fear. He called us to be strong warriors, to go forward and, you know, just take over.
Wow, wow. Well, I take that and I bury it in my heart and I'll live it. But I want to thank you so much for coming on Coffee with Monica. Thanks for having coffee with us. Thank you for Lady Magazine.
Thank you.
And we want our viewers to go out there and take hold of this and love it like the rest of us. All right? Will you come back on the show?
I will.
Good. All right. Well, don't go away. We're going to come right back here with our famous purpose moment. So we'll see you right back in just a moment.
Nearly 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by the carelessness of humans and could be prevented. Help protect the home of our forest friends.
Come on! You can do it!
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Purpose Moments on Coffee with Monica. I hope today's coffee chat inspired you. Sometimes we get in a rut. We find ourselves in a rut. We start out excited and empowered about our purpose and our goals and our dreams, and we launch out, we cast our nets, and then something happens that shakes us, and we want to give it up, lay it down, and run far away as we possibly can. But in today's show, we learned from Sherry Livingston that those obstacles or setbacks or trials that you face are things that we need in order to get us to the next level. So I want to join Sherry in encouraging you and even myself to continue to push forward and go for that dream and go for that goal. And I want you to log on to her site and actually take a look at this magazine because it's excellent. I found out from Sherry that there are people in 15 different countries that are actually reading her magazine right here out of the city of Pine Bluff. So go out there and check her out. Also, you need to go out to www.coffeewithmonicashow.com and check out the website. Maybe you can win some giveaways there. And I'd like to hear from you. Email me. It's always welcome at monica@coffeewithmonicashow.com. And as always, be blessed, and thanks for having Coffee with Monica.